All right, welcome back, everybody. We do hope that your day is off to a phenomenal start, and we are here on the Now Morning Show to make sure that that happens as we just start off your day on a positive note, and we hope that we can brighten your day or make just one person smile this morning, and we hope your Friday is fantastic and phenomenal.
One is the F and one is not, sir, but that's all right.
I know.
All right, so circulating yesterday on social media was a video that violated the privacy of a woman, exposing her body parts allegedly unknowingly to her. And we have seen many instances of this where, videos have gone viral or gone all over social media exposing women, and oftentimes it involves nudity. Joining us this morning to speak about consent, respect for privacy, and our social responsibility is activist and social media manager for Mantra, Celine Jaggernauth. Good morning, Celine.
Good morning. Good morning.
Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. I want to start with, we always hear the word consent, right? And what does consent mean in 2020? A year that's filled with so much, different situations as what I just described in the introduction there.
Yes, I definitely we need to come to terms with what consent means in this day and age. And I think personally, consent and scholarly work would have shown this as well. Consent is supposed to be enthusiastic, voluntary, and affirmative. So I think sometimes people think that there's a blurred line between how you communicate consent. And some people interpret the absence of a solid no as an invitation. When we cultivate a culture of consent, we normalize asking permission and respecting responses to what is being asked. Mm-hmm. It also affirms the individual's agency and autonomy over themselves. And I think what is important to mention here is that the cybercrime bill it can help us define what consent is in this day and age.
Right.
So, for example, there is now jail time for anybody caught sharing for revenge porn and anybody sharing private information.
Mm-hmm.
You can also be fined $2 million. Anybody caught capturing, sharing, and storing information can also be fined $1 million and also face a 5-year imprisonment. So it kind of tells us how to approach this type of private information when it's already out there on the web, and it also lays a foundation for us to criminalize cyberbullying.
I wonder sometimes, we see that it's very common for videos and pictures oftentimes taken between, like you just said, revenge porn and that kind of thing. But aside from that, we have all these social media pages where people post themselves, whether scantily clad, sometimes naked. And, like, for example, there was a situation where there's an attachment to Twitter called OnlyFans, where people can use it to generate income from whether it be their music or their art or whatever. And oftentimes people use it to do porn and they generate income that way. And recently there was a hack whereby a bunch of OnlyFans pages would have been leaked and the content would have been leaked publicly.
Right.
In situations like that, where do we draw the line in terms of discretion and respect if it is that these things were already in the public domain?
Well, the thing is, it was in the public domain, but it was meant to be in a secured space, in a safe space. And I think that when it comes out in the open and people choose to share it, then they're crossing a boundary because they're not considering how them sharing it infringes on the right to privacy.
Interesting. Some people would say, Celine, that they've infringed on their own right to privacy when they put it in the public. How do you respond to that?
No, I don't think so. I think that type of dialogue is reflective of a what we would call a victim blaming mentality,
Mm,
because at the end of the day, women do have autonomy over their bodies.
right.
And the harmful thing about victim blaming is that um, it delegitimizes the experience of victims, and that's an issue we've been seeing a lot of these days. And also, victim blaming directs the attention away from the perpetrator and sensationalizes the experience of the victim. And when that happens, it's difficult to hold people accountable because now everybody is focused on the victim
Yeah.
and placing blame, and it doesn't allow us to hold the perpetrator accountable and understand why this is an invasion of privacy.
Understood. Now, Celine, whether we view ourselves activists or feminists or not at all, tell me what you think our social responsibility to women and their protection in spite of race, religion, or class should be.
I think, in spite of race, religion, and class, every woman has autonomy over herself and should be given the respect that she deserves. Um, it's a sad reality that women are out here being victimized on the basis that they are women. Um, and, I think it comes from a place of uh, a misogynistic attitude that men are entitled to women's bodies, and it allows women to remain objectified by the public. And I think, despite race, religion, or class, uh, everyone deserves the right to privacy and the right to not have their private information being broadcasted.
Well, I want to thank you very much for joining us this morning, Celine. That was activist and social media manager for Mantra, Celine Jaggernauth, sharing with us, a bit about consent and what it means and what it looks like in 2020. And it basically is respect. Like, I mean, that's what I got. I got is have respect for our women, have respect for each other as we go forward. That's the best way I think that we can wrap it up there quickly.